SAI is a contract development and manufacturing organisation. We work with pharma companies, biotechs, to help deliver their drug substances, the development packages, and manufacturing commercial quantities for them. SAI Life Sciences is fairly unique in the sense that we have operations here in the UK and in India. What's unique here is that we can work on processes at the site here at Alderley Park, and we can then tech transfer those processes over to India to benefit from that low-cost manufacturing option. Over the past 10 years, I guess, pharmaceutical companies have started to outsource a lot more work. They've reduced their footprints. Smaller biotechs don't have the internal capability, so they also need that support. So SAI is able to help those different types of customers through their journey of drug development. As a chemist, we need to be able to operate in a parallel fashion to try and get to the answers a lot quicker than we would have done by traditional means. And that means that we can move forward through those projects a lot quicker than we would have done previously. As we start to increase the scale of our operation here in Manchester, we need to try and learn about those processes to ensure that that future scale up is not delayed either, and that the delivery of the material is also on time.
So we're spread across 2 buildings here at Alderley Park. We've got chemistry and analytical labs. Our analytical labs are fully equipped with all the latest analytical kit. In the chemistry labs, we have a lot of Radleys equipment, and we go from a few millilitre scale up to 35 litre scale in our scale-up lab.
When we set up the lab, we've largely orientated ourselves with the Radleys equipment, and the Radleys carousels and the Radleys myophores really help us in terms of designing those parallel experiments early on in the processes. The Radleys carousels give us that option of 12 different test tubes to operate at a single temperature. The myophore adds the complexity of being able to screen multiple reactions at different temperatures. The beauty of the myophore from our chemist perspective is that it can operate in a number of different modes, and certainly being able to screen up to 32 reactions across 4 different temperatures in small vials is really helpful at the very start of a project potentially. Once we've completed those screening experiments, we're then obviously looking to start to scale up the processes, and it's important that we start to move into equipment that starts to resemble our scale-up equipment. So again, we've focused mainly on the Radleys Reactor-Readies to be able to help us do that.
Reactor-Ready and Reactor-Ready pilot platforms allow us to use vessels which mimic those in our pilot plants and manufacturing plants. They also have great data logging capabilities and the flexibility to switch between vessels on that platform in under 30 minutes. When we're moving from Reactor-Ready into Reactor-Ready pilot, one of the things that's great is that it looks exactly the same to the users. So when they come in our scale-up lab and they're using a 35 litre vessel, it's the same controls and the same way of operating that they're used to in the normal lab.
The AVA software is really helpful because that allows us to program the chemistry to be able to operate those chemistries in the Reactor-Ready, but it also gathers all of the relevant process data, which actually helps us to understand a little bit about the process safety, and also starts to think about, well, how do we need to design our process as we move into larger vessels?
If we didn't have Radleys equipment, I think one of the things we'd miss is the technical support after sales service. So whenever we have a query or an issue with the equipment, Radleys are always on hand to help us answer that and keep our business on track.
We felt that having that close relationship with a single company for quite a large amount of our process equipment was quite important. And that's certainly developed as we've grown in the last 2 years. We've increased the number of myophores, Reactor-Readies, etc., to accommodate the increase in the number of chemists. And having that close relationship with Radleys has been really helpful to ensure that we can get those equipment in on time so that we're not delaying startup of our labs, etc.
Our customers are looking for the right material in the right time and of the right purity. Radleys kit helps us do that because it's reliable. We have great service if something goes wrong and we need it fixed. And also what our customers want is the intellectual property behind that manufacturing process. So Radleys equipment gives us that data logging capability so that we can give them a summary of what's happened, which they can then take forward.
Certainly what we're seeing from quite a lot of the large pharma companies is that they want CDMOs to be largely self-sufficient. They don't want to have to drive the development. They want to leave a project with a CDMO and just come back to them at the end when the project's finished. So we therefore need to be really excellent in our delivery. So that's quality of the science that we generate, but also quality of the delivery in terms of the equipment we use, the materials we then produce. The reverse of that, I think, is the smaller biotechs, and that's a very different game. And there's certainly going to be, I think, a lot more projects where we will ultimately add in a lot more value. The biotechs do sometimes benefit from those additional support mechanisms that we can provide.